According to your lawsuit, you were hired by a security firm to work security at one of the infamous white parties that was thrown by Sean Combs in the Hamptons. What was that experience like?
At first, he was incredibly friendly, very gracious. Once I was in a helpless position and he was sure that he was in a position of power, then he took advantage of the situation.
You allege that you were forcibly pushed into an SUV by Sean Combs.
I was screaming. I was telling him to stop. It was incredibly painful, and he was acting like it was nothing. And he seemed to be disconnected from it. But it was abusive beyond belief.
Child, every single time we think that Diddy's alleged crimes couldn't possibly get any worse, the universe says psych, and we find out about more horrible things that he did. And at this point, it's starting to look like we are never going to get to the bottom of the truly horrific things that Diddy allegedly did before getting exposed. Well, yet another one of his victims just came out to recount their experiences with Diddy, and girl, it is every bit as nasty as you can imagine. Turns out that Diddy wasn't just allegedly SAing kids, but he was out here allegedly SAing grown men as well. Y'all, this is about to be nasty, so let's break this down. If there is one thing that we know about Diddy, it's that he is allegedly one of the worst guys in Hollywood. At this point, we're probably never going to get to the end of Diddy's alleged victim list because more and more victims keep popping out and the stories keep getting worse every single time that we hear about them. Back in October, Tony Busby, a Texas-based lawyer, dropped a bombshell. He's representing over 120 people who say Diddy had hurt them over the years. Now, if you thought the first 8 lawsuits against Diddy were shocking, brace yourself, because Busby's announcement took things to a whole new level of chaos. We're talking about over 100 alleged victims. Who even has that many people accusing them of wrongdoing? This feels less like real life and more like the plot of some scandalous Netflix series. During a press conference, Busby revealed that his office has been flooded with over 3,000 allegations against Diddy. He claimed that he was making plans to start filing lawsuits across several states. And before you roll your eyes thinking this might just be a money grab, Busby made it clear that his team has been doing their homework. After a thorough review process, they verified around 120 solid claims. So it wasn't just a free-for-all.
Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases.
The attorney didn't hold back when he described some of the alleged victims' experiences, and let me tell you, it was nothing short of chilling. One story in particular left people absolutely horrified. A woman who said she was pregnant at the time shared that she attended one of Diddy's events. Since she was pregnant, she avoided alcohol altogether, so naturally she assumed she'd stay completely sober that night. But according to her, that's not how things went down. She alleged that someone spiked her drink, causing her to black out completely. The next thing she remembered was waking up in bed next to Diddy, and she claimed he had allegedly SA'd her so violently that she was left physically sore.
Another instance, the individual, this time not a minor, attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed, again, allegedly, with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami. Her vagina and her anus were torn and sore. And I could go on. I mean, literally, you're sensing a theme here.
And if you thought it couldn't get any worse, think again. According to page 6, one of the 120 alleged victims who came forward claims that they were just 9 years old when Diddy allegedly hurt them. 9. According to page 6, the lawyer Tony Busby said this individual, who was 9 years old at the time, was taken to an audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records. Other boys were there to audition as well. All of the kids were seeking TV or music careers with promises of, "I'll make you a star," according to Busby. This individual was SA'd allegedly by Sean Combs and several other people at the studio with the promise to both his parents and himself of getting a record deal. He also spoke about another 15-year-old victim who was SA'd by Diddy and his friends in the studio, saying, another instance, an individual 15 years old at the time was flown to New York City to attend a party where she was and then taken to a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs. Busby continued, this female individual was SA'd and then other individuals took turns raping her. Don't even get me started on the other lawsuit about how Diddy and his bestie Jay-Z allegedly SA'd a 13-year-old at the MTV Video Music Awards. According to Variety, Jane Doe was 13 years old on September 7, 2000 when she tried to attend the MTV Video Music Awards. She could not get into the awards show without a ticket and therefore approached several limousine drivers after the event to see if she could attend an after party. One of the drivers allegedly worked for Combs and drove the plaintiff to a party where she signed a non-disclosure agreement and accepted a drink. They went on to say that after just one drink, the plaintiff alleged that she began to feel woozy and lightheaded and made her way to an empty bedroom to lie down. Soon after, Combs allegedly entered the room with a male and female celebrity. She then alleges that she was raped by the male celebrity as the female celebrity watched before allegedly being raped by Combs as both celebrities watched. The suit goes on to allege that after the assault, the plaintiff, who now lives in Alabama, fell into a deep depression which continues to affect every facet of her life. Jay-Z recently got named in a lawsuit, but that's a story for another day. Anywho, even with the multiple lawsuits, there have been rumors that there are still many victims who haven't come forward. And now there are reports that Diddy had some seriously messed up things going on at his 4th of July parties. For some context, back in the day, Diddy used to throw some epic all-white parties every 4th of July, and it was a very big deal in the industry. Y'all know how Michael Rubin throws lavish 4th of July parties every year. Well, that used to be Diddy back in the day. And even though things seem normal, there are now reports that some creepy things happen behind the scenes. For example, a man named Justin Latosky recently came out to claim that he attended Diddy's 4th of July party one year when he was only 6. His parents were there and they thought the party was family friendly, so they took their son along. However, it quickly became clear that it was not family friendly. And given this picture of Diddy touching a young Justin so closely, yeah, it looks like there might have been some cause for concern. In a new interview, Justin spoke about how he felt that night, claiming that he was super uncomfortable.
He put his arm around me in an uncomfortable way, close to areas that you shouldn't as a grown man. So I remember marijuana and topless women. That's the two main things that I remember.
To his parents' credit, they did step in and try to save the situation.
People were getting high. There were girls swimming topless, young looking girls that were, not dressed. We moved to another part of the house so that he wouldn't be exposed to what was going on.
But that's not all, because in a heartbreaking turn of events, yet another man has come out to claim that Diddy allegedly SA'd him at a 4th of July situation where he worked as security.
According to your lawsuit, you were hired by a security firm to work security at one of the infamous white parties that was thrown by Sean Combs in the Hamptons. What was that experience like?
At first, he was incredibly friendly, very gracious. Once I was in a helpless position and he was sure that he was in a position of power, then he took advantage of the situation.
You allege that you were forcibly pushed into an SUV by Sean Combs.
I was screaming. I was telling him to stop. It was incredibly painful, and he was acting like it was nothing. And he seemed to be disconnected from it. But it was abusive beyond belief.
This is heartbreaking on so many levels, and it doesn't look like the allegations are going to stop anytime soon. This accuser also had a lawsuit against Diddy, and like I said, it doesn't look like things are going to improve for Diddy anytime soon, because more alleged victims are coming forward, and it looks like this nightmare is going to continue for a long time. Fans commented, "Wow, that's so horrible. How can anyone ever do this to another human being? He needs to be locked up forever and lose everything to feel how it feels to go through something like this." Grown men and SA'ing them is extremely concerning. The law knew about it. Another man went to the police department immediately and told them Diddy drugged and SA'd him and nothing happened. Get these predators. Can't imagine how hard this must feel. Real sick beyond belief. Sadly, he's getting an easy ride on the inside with the inmates so far, and this is sick stuff. So glad I was never a fan of his and never gave him a dime of my money. This is heartbreaking, but y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments, then check out this next video.